So, good morning, and today's session that we'll be doing is Learning Outcome 2. Okay, so can everyone see the slides?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So my name is Shazia Khan and we'll be doing Learning Outcome 2 today. First of all, I'm going to give you a brief outline of what we did in the last Learning Outcome. So in Learning Outcome 2, we looked at different career paths in health and social care. Do you remember any of the career paths we looked at yesterday in the session?
Yeah, the path that we learned, that what I remember is it create a path for us in to become a nurse in future. If you want to become a nurse, you can be a care manager too.
Yeah.
And it can lead you to healthcare assistant too.
Yes, so we looked at the roles, didn't we, Solomon? We looked at the roles, the different roles. So we looked at what care assistants do and how they provide, direct care and support to individuals, maybe in nursing homes, with personal care. So, and it could be things, what kind of stuff can care assistants do, Solomon? Can they cook and clean for that person in the house as well?
Come again, please.
If you work in a care home, would you go outside to someone's house and provide care for personal care?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could it be
Yeah.
cooking and cleaning for that person?
Yeah,
Yes.
that is domestic. Yeah.
Yeah. But it'd be like, providing them with medication, maybe
Medication.
any
Yeah.
personal care.
Yeah.
And, it could be people that have dementia or maybe people
Sure.
that are severely old and things, elderly people. So it could be people like that. We also looked at nursing assistants, how they help the registered nurses and the registered nurses as well. We looked at specialist healthcare roles like paramedics, occupational therapist, and physiotherapist, helping someone if they've been injured in an accident or any form of injury, helping them restore their movement, get back to normality, making sure that they have, any sort of their physical movement is not affected and trying to improve that.
Yeah.
We looked at healthcare management, like you mentioned, Solomon, the fact that, managers' role within the healthcare profession, because you could have all the medical roles, but you could also have a manager's role as well, where you'd manage staff of a department, you'd look at their wages, their budgets, things. And it's really important when you have a manager's role that you comply with the regulations. What kind of regulations are in place and laws? What does it mean comply with regulations?
That's the confidentiality, to manage the
Yes.
confidentiality of a vulnerable purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about things
And
like health and safety of your employees?
health and safety too is here.
Yeah.
And yeah, health
That
and
is
safety.
important because, you need to make sure that your employees are working in an environment that is
And
safe.
then, sure.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
need to make sure also that you're following policies and procedures as well. It's important that you follow the policies and procedures that are in place.
Yeah.
It might be health and safety, it might be manual handling, it could be any policies that even staff are following.
Yeah.
Then you've got a health information manager who looks at medication data, security of that data, how it's accessed, the importance of the, quality of that data as well.
Yeah.
Then we looked at the educational and training roles, and these are people like, training educators who are there to educate and promote healthy lifestyle, and training coordinators who are putting together training programs for you as staff members to make
Yeah.
sure that you enhance your skills and you're not, if you don't have training in something, then you're not able to use a product or an item. So, they make sure that you have training development needs. Then we looked at some research roles, research and developmental roles, and they were things like, you have researchers. Why are researchers so important? Abby Bowler's on as well. Hi, Abby. Abby, you're right. Why do you think research and development roles are important? If you're
Oh,
are you okay? If you're
I'm
researching,
okay. I'm okay.
okay.
No.
If you're researching and monitoring any sort of clinical trials, are you trying to improve any sort of new treatments or medicine?
Yeah.
You need to do research, don't you?
Yeah. You need to do research.
Yeah. Why do you think it's so important that we research the products?
Yeah, because you have to do research because I would take a client as an example. You have to
Yeah.
do a research about the client, about his condition before you give him a medication.
Yes.
If not, you are going to maybe cause a harm. If we didn't do research about his medication and give him any medication that you like,
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's going to be
research is really important.
important. Yeah.
So then we looked at potential opportunities. So we looked at healthcare data analysis, healthcare information manager, clinical informatics, project manager, telehealth coordinator, educators training, and what qualifications they needed. So we looked at their qualification and skills, whether they need a degree, whether they need a certification, or whether they need some sort of training as well. And we looked at career advancement as well, how you'd advance and get forward, things like networking, doing your degree, CPD, continuous professional development. You know, it may be that you need to get a certificate in an area of healthcare. We then looked at self-assessment. And why is it so important, self-assessment, when we look at self-assessment? Why do you think self-assessment is so important?
Yeah, self-assessment is so important because, yeah, it will make you know more about the person that you're taking care of. If you do,
For you, self-assessment for you, Suleiman.
okay,
Why
for
do you
me,
think, yes,
self-assessment.
why
Okay,
do you think it's so important to self-assess for yourself?
okay, the self-assessment is important because if I assess myself, I will know my goal and
Yes,
and how to achieve in future.
yes, good, good.
Mm.
Well, have you got anything to add, Abim Bola? About
Yeah,
self-assessment?
yes, it will make one to be able to you assess your goal. Since you set
Yes,
a goal for yourself, you'll be striving to assess your goal. Then also to make further further plans for the future. So for one to
yes. So this we just got summarizing learning outcome one, okay, and then we're going to go on to learning outcome two, Abimbola, okay. So we looked at research careers. We also looked at comparing your skills and requirements and identifying skill gaps and development needs. So what your needs are, what do you need any additional, skills to, progress into this job? We looked at personal development plan. We looked at the SMART acronym briefly and looked at what it was: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And we looked at 1D1, which was to review your career requirements. And we looked at assessing your skills and experience, identifying any skill gaps, evaluating personal development. And that was learning outcome one. Okay, so I just gave you a brief outline of what we did in learning outcome one. Now we're looking at learning outcome two, which can you see on the screen, both of you? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So learning outcome two is moving on, and it's looking at things like understanding the importance of personal and professional development and the processes, principles, and techniques. So it's going more into detail. The indicative content for learning outcome two is to look at the importance of personal development for career progression, for continuous improvement, and to remain up to date, to provide quality care, impact on service users and organisation, to look at how to set personal targets and why these are needed within within that process of professional development. So identifying gaps, target setting, development opportunities, measuring achievement, and review. We look at the process of reflection, using reflection, the reflective log, the importance of a reflection for continuous improvement. And we looked at models of reflection like Kolb and Gibbs and Morrison. We look at reflective cycles, etc., in events, and what was good and bad, and what could be done differently. Evaluation of your knowledge and understanding, against standards using tools such as SWOT analysis, collection of feedback in assessing your own performance and importance of self-awareness. You also look at sources of feedback, managers, colleagues, service users, tutors, development activities, coaching, mentoring, courses, qualifications, evidence-based practice, and how to review progress against plan and how to use the results for further development. Managing development, so why it's needed and the challenges, the management behavior process, and continued professional development. So key terminology. What is personal development? So personal development itself and professional development, the difference between both, helps you manage your own learning and growth throughout your career, you know, through your personal life as well. Continuous learning helps you open doors in your career and keeps you up to date with skills and knowledge. And, you know, it keeps you as an individual to identify and extend your skills. You know, you need to have personal development in place to help you reach your potential. Okay, this is more of a personal level, and it is there to manage your personal skills, anything you need to do in regards to progressing. And then you've got your professional development, and professional development is something that's quite important in regards to your professional development. So how you want to develop, how you want to go forward, you know, and also it's how you continue to improve your professional skills, you know, to benefit your careers. You know, you need to, if you want to go further, you need to try to keep up to date with things, try to keep up to date with changes, and try new skills. You know, it's so important for people to try new skills. I think people are sometimes a bit scared to try new skills, but I think it's really, really important for you to try new skills and do new training courses. So here we've got a video on personal and professional development, and the link is there that you could watch in your own time. So please refer to that as well, okay?
Okay.
2.1, explain the importance of personal and professional development. So when we go through that, if there's any questions you need to ask, just ask. If not, I will ask you, okay? So we get an idea to work together. And I think it's better when we work together as a group to come up with some ideas, okay? So
Okay.
to explain the importance of personal and professional development, it's really, really important, okay? I personally think it's really important because there are benefits of personal and professional development. Do you think it's important, personal and professional development? Firstly, let's go ask Abimbola. Do you think it's really important? Abimbola still on? Let me have a look. Okay. Solomon, do you think personal and professional development is important for yourself?
Yeah.
Why do you think it's important?
Because it is important because it will help you to achieve your career,
Yes.
achieve your career, and it will let you to improve your career skills and goals.
Yes, and it gives you the chance to progress, doesn't it? It gives you the chance to progress. It gives you the chance to, you know, make your different changes to the way in your life. It makes you the chance to, you know, become more influential, deciding on like your goals and things. So some important points of personal and professional development are to look at things like, you know, career progression. So firstly, you know, your career will be progressed, okay? You need to, you know, you may want to progress your career in certain ways. So, you know, it helps you and helps individuals enhance any sort of career goals and enhance their skills and knowledges. And, you know, it's there also to, you know, by you taking any sort of training courses and developing your skills, you know, you're more likely to get the job that you love. You know, you may want to become a nurse from a care assistant, you know, so you need to develop your skills. You know, continually learning ensures that you have a variety of skills. For example, you know, I love to learn, I love to do different courses. You know, even if the course is not related to my job, I still love to do it because it improves my career advancement in the future.
Yeah.
Continuous improvement. So engaging in personal and professional development fosters a culture of continuous development. It makes sure that individuals are striving to, you know, do better. You know, for you, each time you take part in something or a course or anything, you can write that down. And, you know, it's very good on your CV. You know, if you do a training course, you can go quickly write it on your CV. So, you know, it helps your career progression. It helps your personal development as well as your professional development. So in interviews, you can say, oh, yes, I have this skill. So it's so important for that. Adaptability and resilience. So ongoing development ensures that individuals remain adaptable, especially in healthcare profession, and resilient in the face of new challenges, technologies, and evolving best practices. Why is it good in the health and social care to keep up to date with all the changes? Why is it so good to keep up to date with all the changes? And why is it so important?
I think it will help one to know how to treat the client,
Yeah.
to know their preferences, what they need and what they want at each particular point in time, and
Yes.
what I mean their family history. One will be able to know so as to.
Yes, and also what about things, Abimbola, what about new equipment that's coming in? Should you have training on medication and new equipment that's coming in?
Yeah, I know this
So,
for me. Yeah, to know
yeah,
the exact drug to take at a particular point in time, the
yeah.
dose, and the reason for taking that drug, and so many things like that.
Yes, yeah. There may be products that have come in that you have to use in the care home, and you have to provide.
Yeah.
The next thing, yeah, is you need to quality of care. You know, that's really important that you make sure that the quality of care provided is, you know, is good. You know, you need to make sure you are following the techniques and standards, and you are, you know, can deliver that care. That's really important. And patient safety. You know, continuous learning and development contribute to patient safety. Like we said, if you could use a hoist, which we used as an example, you know, you need training on using certain equipment. Professional satisfaction. So investing in professional and development can enhance your professional practice. And it can also, you know, make sure you have, you know, ethical practice. So developing like a strong foundation of knowledge and ethical. Why is ethical principles so important in health and social care? So ethical principles.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Sorry, go on.
I said I didn't hear you very well.
Why are ethical practice so important in health and social care? Ethical principles.
Principles. I don't really know. Hold on, let me say
Ethical,
what
you know,
I
taking into account things like, you know, making informed decisions in the interest of the patients and the clients, you know, things like, you know, what are their ethical
Okay.
practices? Should we take culture and ethics into account when we're deciding on, you know, someone's life or making a decision? Leadership development. So personal development is essential in nurturing future leaders. You know, it's there to make sure you nurture any sort of future leaders that are around. Professional satisfaction, organizational success. So a commitment to personal and professional development is not only beneficial for individual, but for the organization. So if you have got training, okay, and you've been trained and you've gone to training courses and you have attended courses outside of the organization, why is that important? Why is that a success for the organization? Why, for example, your manager will come and said, oh, Abimbolas attended this training and Suleiman's attended this training. They've got the skills. How's that contributing to the organization?
Okay. it make the organization effective.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes. It will
yeah.
make the organization effective, and obviously they could say that, oh, they've got this skill already,
Yeah.
you know, and if
Yeah.
they want to progress into a new role, a career promotion, then they've got a new role as well. They've got the skill to do this new role. So it's a chance for promotion as well. And regulatory compliance.
Yeah.
So you must make sure that you are up to date with any sort of education needs, and also for regulatory compliance. Why do you think that's important for regulatory compliance? Do you think it's for to follow the policies and the regulations?
I think it will
Yeah.
protect the home where one is working with, and it
Yes.
will also enhance the I mean the rate that they will give to the
Yes, so it's really important that you follow, you know, the requirements, regulatory standards, and demonstrate, you know, any sort of professionalism, accountability. Because if you do something wrong in a nursing home, who's accountable? You or the organization? It could be both people, you know, depending on what you've done. So you need to make sure that you are accountable. So another benefit of personal and professional development is improving your mental health, you know, making sure that you are, you know, adding to your skills, but stimulating your brain as well. And development, you know, it is there for you to improve your work-life balance. You know, you need to be able to increase your work-life balance. So, you know, it's important that you switch off when you go home from work. You know, you don't spend hours working, you know, learning your, you know, put your work life separate to your professional life. Sorry, your work life separate to your personal life. It's sometimes very difficult to do that. You know, make sure, you know, you try to separate them both. It is difficult, but sometimes you have to just switch off, and it improves your work-life balance as well. So in conclusion to 2.1, which we looked at, personal development is highly beneficial to both the organization and the individual. You know, it's lifelong learning. Professional development ensures that you have continued to be competent in your profession, and also should continue throughout your career. And it's improved by, you know, attending things like, you know, organizations send people out to workshops, conferences, making sure you do reading around the areas. And professional development, as we mentioned, it's there to increase your knowledge, your skills, your job satisfaction, motivate you. You know, these kind of things are really important when it comes to professional development and personal development. You know, you need to make sure that you put them both aside and make sure that you are on top of things when it comes to your professional and personal development. Have you got any questions on 2.1 before we continue on?
No.
Okay, so we're on 2.2 now, and this looks at exploring the principles and processes and techniques for personal and professional development. Okay, so exploring the principles, processes, and techniques for personal professional development means understanding strategies and approaches. And here's some examples. So the first one is looking at principles, so lifelong learning. So this is an approach to learning, and it is whether in personal or professional context. And that is continuous and self-motivated. Lifelong learning can be formal or informal and takes place throughout an individual's life. And they say that it takes place from the cradle to the grave. So all the time it takes place. And that's an ideology they've used. It's an interest in learning and your personal development that individuals pursue throughout their lives. It doesn't have to just be classroom or book learning either. It could be anything. You know, you could learn to maybe cook. You could learn, you know, to maybe learn a new language. You know, people have different interests, you know, and it might be something that's self-taught at home. You know, you may want to do something. Does anyone have what kind of lifelong learning does anyone have, or do they do anything that's part of their lifelong learning? I like cooking. I'm learning to bake, so that's one of my lifelong learnings. What about you, Abimbola? I don't think I can bake that well, but I'm trying, yeah.
I like
I'm,
reading. I
you
like
like
reading.
reading?
Yeah.
Reading. What kind of things
Yeah.
do you like reading?
Oh,
Anything?
because of my religion, I like reading
Yes. Yeah.
Bible related, Bible
y-
related.
Yeah. And that's important to you, and it's a
Uh,
lifelong learning. Solomon, what about you?
Yeah, my lifelong learning is like I would say education because I always want to be
Yes.
an up to date every
Yes.
time, anytime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I love reading, and I again mine's cooking just on a personal life, but on my reading and knowledge. I love knowledge. I
Mm.
do a lot of things on human rights. Um, and I do things like, domestic work in the community, which I love. It's not
Mm.
part of my job, but it's things like, I deal with issues of FGM and domestic violence. So this is a form of my lifelong learning because I'm learning things that I don't know. And it's so interesting, and I like stuff around human rights. So that's my lifelong learning. But, it's really important to embrace that people, have different ones, different people have different skills, and different people have different personal and professional development. So, they say it's from one's birth to grave, the cradle to the grave. So you keep learning throughout your life. Self-reflection, and it's really important that we self-reflect. It encourages you to learn and think about experiences and your behavior, and taking time to, meditate on, evaluate, and look at your behaviors, your attitudes, your motivations, your desires. Self-reflection is really good. I reflect on myself, and I think some people don't like to reflect. You need to reflect on how you do it, what your strengths are. People don't like to mention their weaknesses, but it is part of life. If you go into a job and they ask you your strengths, everyone could talk about their strengths. But when it comes to your weakness, you don't want to talk about your weaknesses because you don't want to not get the job. But a weakness
Mm.
can be that you take on too much work. It doesn't mean that it's a strength and a weakness. But people don't like self-reflecting on their weaknesses. It's really important to reflect. Why do you think it's so important to self-reflect?
Okay, it's important because I think it will encourage another person or an individual to maybe to learn something that the person doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But will it enable you to move on and you know encourage you to look at different things and make you improve?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
identifies any sort of improvement. When I mark students' work, I give them feedback, and sometimes they have to self-reflect on their feedback as well. What they could have
Yeah.
done in improvements, any areas of improvement. So it's really important, self-reflection. Goal setting yourself goals as well is really important. um you know if you put an action plan together and set yourself goals, you are able to follow the SMART acronym, the acronym of specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. You are setting goals for yourself, and they should be aligned with your individual aspirations. Continuous improvement. So strive for continuous improvement, getting feedback, staying abreast of emerging trends. Flexibility and adaptability. Remain flexible in any sort of changing circumstances, technologies, and industries. Embrace new challenges. It's so important. If a new thing and any sort of new experiences have come in, embrace them. Take on board what you need to do. Don't be thinking, oh, I can't do that. Make sure you embrace that. It's good. It's good for you to have that experience. It's good on your CV. Ethical practices. Uphold ethical principles of professional standards in all aspects of your personal and professional development. Adhere to codes of conduct. maintain integrity, and act in the best interests of your service users and stakeholders. Why is it so important to follow codes of conduct? Why do you think it's so important to follow codes of conduct? Any policies that you have in your workplace, why do you think it's so important?
And if you follow the code of conduct in your organization, it will help you not to get into any trouble.
Yeah. Yes.
Because
and it's a
because we're following
requirement, isn't it? It's a requirement for you to follow that. And you don't want to be getting into any trouble, like you said, Sullivan.
Yeah.
Because you can sometimes, yes.
Mhm.
So processes, we've got processes in place. There's self-assessment. So begin by conducting a thorough self-assessment to identify your current needs, goal setting and planning. And we've mentioned the SMART acronym, you know, specific, measurable, actionable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Make sure you have outlined any sort of steps and learning and development activities. Make sure you are engaging in any new skills that are given. Feedback and reflection. Feedback is really important. You know, people don't like feedback. You know, why do you think, Sullivan, people don't like feedback?
Okay, maybe
I think
people
because
don't like feedback because
we don't want to make mistakes, so we don't like making
It's
mistakes.
true. Yeah,
And
it's true.
so if we make mistake and we get feedback, it will help us to improve. But
Yes.
we don't like mistakes.
No, we don't like feedback. No, but it helps you
Yeah.
improve. I always say to my students, when I'm marking your work, I give you feedback for you to reflect on so you can improve your work.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, make sure that you are, you know, reflecting on any sort of areas of improvement. And in healthcare profession, it's so important, you know, for you as a healthcare professional to get feedback, because you're looking at shared experiences, you know, and you're looking at people who have a voice, and you know, you feel comfortable in communicating your concerns and your experience. And feedback can be given through like different channels. It could be interviews, surveys, complaints procedures. It could be your employer having a one-to-one with you. So it's feedback and reflection is really, really important. And it's essential to motivate your learning, and you know how you learn, and what it is to motivate and identify any sort of areas of improvement. We all are not perfect. You know, we all need to learn, and it's so important we do. Evaluation and review. So regularly evaluate progress towards personal and professional development goals, assess the effectiveness of learning activities, adjust strategies, and celebrate achievements. So evaluation is really important as well. Some of the techniques that we've used: SWOT analysis. So, you know, the SWOT analysis is identifying your strengths, your weaknesses, you know, and it identifies strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So it's a framework of your organization's goals, programs, and capacities. And, you know, it's there. It identifies what the overall plan is for the business. So, you know, it's a strategic plan in regards to, you know, how making sure that you are following, you know, you are making sure that you know what your SWOT analysis is. It's so, you know, it is a way of collecting data, both quantitative and qualitative. And you know, it is needed. There are different examples of SWOT analysis, which I'll show you towards the end. So you've got an idea of a SWOT analysis, and it strengthens to achieve and help you get your goals. And weaknesses are to identify your weaknesses, to improve and identify opportunities to create any sort of growth, and then threats to manage and minimize the impact. So it's really important you do a SWOT analysis. The same with the SMART objectives: specific, measurable, relevant, and time-bound. These are goals that are there for, you know, you to identify any sort of achievements that you need to and want to make, you know. So it, you know, it could be example in the healthcare profession. I'll give you an example. Your goal is that I want to show more compassion and empathy to my patients. So if you're using the SMART nursing goal, you identify it as, I will spend an extra 5 minutes with each new patient and ask questions about their lives to at least to learn at least 3 interests we can discuss from stress about the condition. So this is your SMART acronym. You know, it's an example of what you would do by putting the SMART acronym in place. And it's not a new concept. It's been there for a long time, and it does help. It's a tool, improvement tool, and it does help individuals. You know, the whole focus of SMART is that it helps you set you up for success by organizing your desired achievements and how you would do it. So, you know, you would identify your the specific, like we mentioned, would be your outline the steps you need to take. So that would be the S. The measurable will be, you will need to decide to measure how to achieve your goal. So an example can be a day, a time, percentage. And the achievable, is it achievable? So you set an achievable target. And then relevant is make it purposeful and think about the impact it will have. And then time bound, allow yourself a time frame. You know, you allow yourself a time frame to do something and make sure you prioritize it. So these are, you know, the SMART acronym. Another one, it could be, another example is if you into things like, your example would be, the S would be, I want to be better at running. And this is not specific, but I want to run 5K. This is specific. Measurable, I want to run 5K in 30 minutes in the next 3 months. And then achievable, I want to start the Couch to 5K challenge, where I will be able to run 5K in the next 3 months. And the relevant from the SMART acronym is, I want to run 5K to live a healthier life. And the time bound is, I want to train 3 days per week. You know, so it's really good to put your aims and objectives into place and make sure they're measurable, because you need to identify them. And it's so important in any form of way in any life. Okay, the next one is journaling. So journaling is a personal development journal tool that involves writing down your thoughts and feelings so you can understand them better. Does anyone do journaling? Do you,
I don't understand what you mean by journaling.
It means that you get a book, yes, and you write down all your thoughts.
Okay, is
and
it
your
like
feelings.
keeping
like
diary?
Like a diary.
Okay.
Yeah, and it helps you.
I don't keep diary, but I note things down.
Yes, you note things down. I note everything down, even on my hands, unfortunately.
So I don't have diary, but
it's a way of keeping your personal thoughts. What about you, Suleiman? Do you journal? No? Okay, so it's kind of a private reflection, okay? And it allows you to sort through your events and any problems you're having. And it's a recording of your personal thoughts, your feelings, your insights, and it can be written, drawn, or typed. You know, it's like a therapeutic journal, you know, writing down your thoughts and tracking your developments and your emotions and your behavior. And some people like doing that. I mean, you say you write things down, Abimbola. Do you write your thoughts and your feelings and you're reflecting on your day?
No, I don't write down my thoughts. I don't write down my feelings.
Yeah.
But I write down, the plans for the day, or what
and you reflect on that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think it's good to reflect on that?
I think when you write it down, you will not be able to forget anything that you have written down when you are going to.
Yes.
Then you want to.
It helps you, doesn't it? It helps you go back to things. Yeah.
Sorry?
It helps you go back to things, doesn't it? And understand things.
Yeah.
So then we've got networking. Again, why do you think networking is so important? Why do you think you networking with other organizations or anything like that is important?
I think it will foster cordial relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, and networking is important. I think it will provide a learning opportunity for you too.
Yeah, networking is a part. It does apply learning opportunities. Does it give you the element of, you know, progressing?
Progressing, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So if you network with an organization outside, do you think you'll progress and get forward with that organization?
Yeah.
Yes. So networking is really important.
Important, yeah.
Networking makes sure you identify and build networks with other organizations, and then professional associations and organizations. So you join professional organizations and you join them in regards to any sort of your field, your resources. We did mention in the indicative content that we look a little bit at Kolb's learning cycle. So in Kolb's learning cycle theory, it typically represents a 4-stage learning cycle in which the learner touches all the bases. So things like concrete experience, reflective observation of new experience, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation. So concrete experience is having the actual experience. Okay, you having that experience to reflect on. Reflective observation is reflecting on your experience. And then abstract conceptualization is learning from your experience. And active experimentation is trying out new learned things. And this was called Kolb's learning cycle. And this there's additional reading on this on Moodle for you. Okay, so if you want to reflect on this, then you know there was the learning cycle when it comes to the learning descriptors. It was the element of Honey and Mumford's Mumford, sorry, Honey and Mumford is an academic that looked at different learning styles and why they were important, why people learn differently. Why is it important that we look at these learning styles? Why do you think everyone learns the same?
No, we have different rates of assimilation.
Yes, yeah. We have different ways of learning. Okay,
Yeah.
not one of us learns the same. So the Honey and Mumford learning styles was published by someone called Peter Honey and Alan Mumford in 1986, and he identified styles that people use to learn new things. And the first one he identified was the activist, who looks at doing, you know, they do stuff, active experimentation. So the activist likes doing stuff. Then he looked at the theorist, and the theorist likes thinking. So the theorist likes reflecting and watching. And then he looked at the pragmatist is someone who likes thinking about things. And then the concrete one is someone who likes to feel things and learn through that. So, you know, people have different ways of, you know, learning, and his learning style suggests that most people prefer to use just one or two of the styles. You know, you could learn, the activist, and then you can be a pragmatist at the same time. So activists learn best when they're thrown into the deep end. Do you think you're an activist, or which one do you think you are? If you look at a reflector, they like feeling. And then you have a theorist who likes watching, and a pragmatist who likes doing. Sorry, thinking, and then an activist who likes doing. Which one do you think you are? I think I'm a thinker. What do you think you are, Abimbola?
You can say I'm laughing. I don't really. I think I do. I do.
You like doing things.
Yeah, I like doing things.
Yeah. I'm a bit of a doer as well. Yeah, they can overlap with things. You know, and you know, when you're an active listener, you like being thrown into the deep end, don't you? Do you like working with others and trying new experiences and things?
Yeah, Yeah, I like
Yeah.
what we
Do you
include.
like, yes, activists are suited to brainstorming, group discussion, role play, things like that.
Yeah.
A theorist is suited to, things like, models and facts and figures. They're a logical thinker. And then you have a pragmatist who they are suited to case studies, problem solving. And when they learn better when they can see things in practice. Sometimes it's better when you look at something and learn in practice.
Practice, yeah.
I think I'm a bit of a pragmatist as well. What about you, Solomon? Do you think you're a pragmatist?
Yeah, well, I
Do you
like
want-
doing things.
Do you like doing things and then learning
Yeah.
from doing that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have a reflector. And these people learn best when they observe others and think about what they've been observed.
Yeah.
They like observing other activities. They like receiving feedback. They like coaching. So these kind of people's, there's different learning styles, and they help, us as an individual, because we could look at our learning styles, how we learn and what is best suited for us. We need to make sure that, we look at the learning styles that are best suited for us as an individual, because it helps us benefit. You think about, again, when you look at the different learning styles, you will look at self-reflection. You will look at why that is so important, why it's important to self-reflect on your different skills and things and your learning styles. So just in conclusion to the area of by embracing these principles and processes, we can work effectively to identify our professional and personal development, achieve our goals, and thrive in careers. It's so important. I'm going to show you an example of a SWOT analysis in just a minute. So I'll just show you so you've got an idea of what SWOT analysis looks like. Just a basic example. Okay. So let me see if I can share that. And this is just an example of SWOT analysis in health and social care. Can you see that? Yeah?
Yeah.
It says SWOT analysis, and it looks at the strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and threats. So it's a SWOT analysis in healthcare. So some of the strengths are high success rate, continuous investment in clinical equipment, personalized care, a strong brand name, a niche patient base, excellent location. One of this for the weaknesses is that it's limited number of physicians, longer patient wait times, bad financial management, high staff turnover, inability to attract new patients, and the opportunities are providing diagnostic and lab services to other medical practices, and then attract quality physicians and staff. An opportunity is expansion to underserviced areas, and another opportunity is convenient parking, and then cost effectiveness, successful referral programs with other physicians. And some of the threats are with expansion, you may face challenges. So there are challenges that is a threat. It needs to be taken into account as well. Challenges with patient experience and efficient communication being really important in regards to that. Stiff competition, so the fact that there's so much competition out there as well. And staff dissatisfaction, security breaches, and dissatisfied patients. So there's no single correct method, like it says, of a SWOT analysis. However, the size of your medical practice, the frequency of your strategic planning meetings, your practice goals, and the changes are significant factors that need to be taken into account. So this is a link that you could go on to that I've put on your link in your references, and it looks at SWOT analysis there. So let's just go back to the slides. So we've looked at why it's so important in regards to your elements of, trying to identify your personal and professional goals, and concluded through that So just to summarize what we've had a look at in learning outcome today, we've looked at the importance of personal and professional development and the process, principles and techniques. We've looked at importance of professional development, how to review professional development, what professional and personal development are. We looked at 2.1 to explain the importance of professional and personal development. So things like career advancement, continuous improvement, professional satisfaction, ethical practice. We went then on to look at 2.2, which was principles, processes and techniques for personal and professional development. So lifelong learning, self-reflection, flexibility, adaptability, ethical practices. The processes we looked at learning and development activities, reflecting, evaluating, and we looked at the techniques, which we looked at SMART goals, SWOT analysis, which I looked at the example towards the end as well, and journaling and networking. And these are the elements of learning outcome 2 that we looked at today. Has anyone got any questions? So before I go through some of the references. So these are the references we've used for today's session. Any questions? Anyone? Suleiman, Abimbola, any questions?
No, I don't have any question.
Excellent. Abimbola, have you got any questions? So if you don't have any questions, thank you for attending today's session. Make sure you refer to any ebooks, any journals on Moodle, any additional reading. I've put a link on there for you to do some further reading as well that you could go on to. And if there's any questions you've got that you may want to ask about anything, you need to email learnerwork@ukvarsity.co.uk. Even if it's a query in regards to not being able to get onto Moodle or not being able to get onto any links or anything on Moodle, just email learnerwork@ukvarsity.co.uk. If you've got no questions, we've finished the session now. The next session is next week on Saturday, and it's learning outcome 3. Okay, so we'll be looking at learning outcome 3, which is to present a personal and professional development plan. Make sure these will all be recorded and will be on Moodle for you to review. Okay.
Okay.
Is that okay, Abimbola? And thank you, and
right.
Suleiman, for attending the session today. I'll see you
All right.
next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.